8radio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, October 3rd, 2015, and you are watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Descafani, and this is my good friend Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Eric Mikhailov are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Radio TV network, broadcasting live from Studio C in the great state of New York, the home of the National League East champion New York Mets. How great is that?
That sounds good, man. It's been a long time, right?
You know,
2006 was the last time we made the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, so today is going to be a wall-to-wall baseball show today.
It's a baseball playoff extravaganza.
You know, and we love having extravaganzas here.
We do.
And extravaganzas mean 6-hour shows. No, it's not going to be 6 hours today. Maybe 2.
Yeah.
No. You know, but today, we've got lined up a bunch of baseball experts today.
It looks great. It looks great.
We got writers from Around the Horn Talk, which is a baseball blog. Mm-hmm. We've got some of our regulars that we're bringing back today. We'll hear from Jake Krebs in St. Louis today.
Trey Loney.
And Trey Looney today. We'll see him today. Couple of cool things going on today. We've got 2 Skype guests today.
That's even more impressive.
You know, so technology is wonderful.
Yeah.
So anyway, how great was Saturday last week? Which we predicted right here on this program that the Mets were going to clinch the East that day.
Yeah, and then unfortunately they lost 3 in a row to Philadelphia. Yeah, now we're in a little bit of a situation about clinching home field against the Dodgers.
You know, it was almost like, not like they were spring training games. I understand they were coming off the hangover in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You know, and you wanted to rest a couple of your guys. But there was the Cespedes thing.
Yes.
You know, if you're a Met fan and you were watching that game, your heart was in your throat seeing him go down.
That's right. I mean, there's a couple. They do have some key injuries here. I mean, Matz was supposed to pitch on Wednesday, or I guess it was Tuesday. Then they moved it back to Wednesday, then Thursday. He's supposed to pitch this weekend. Now he's not going to pitch at all. Yeah. You know, we got Juan Uribe, who got nicked up with a chest injury, chest contusion. Mm-hmm. You say Cespedes got hit. Wilmer Flores has got a cranky back right now. Mm-hmm. So
you know what? Well, we'll be. I think during the course of the show today,
we'll talk about those.
We'll be sprinkling in Mets stuff all over the place. But let's take a quick look at what's going on in all of the wild card and the pennant races.
Okay.
Shall we?
Why not?
You
have a graphic for that?
I worked hard on the graphics, so we might as well use them.
Let's hope so.
All right, so let's first look at the American League wild card.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, there are still 4 teams that are going for the 2 spots. Now, the Yankees have already clinched one of the spots.
Yeah.
Okay. The Astros won yesterday. Okay. The Angels lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Astros can still win the AL West. Minnesota is just about done.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Put a fork in them, I think.
Put a fork in them. Mm-hmm. Now, for the National League wild card, there's only 2 teams.
Yeah,
and it's already been decided.
Yep.
But they're still fighting for who's going to get to host that 1-game wild card.
Yeah, but I think Pittsburgh looks like they're going to do that. I think they're 2 games ahead.
Right. They're 1 game in. Pittsburgh has, well, no. Is it? I don't know. What is it? Yes, no. Pittsburgh's 2 games ahead, so they're gonna finish that off.
So they're going to be the home. They're going to host that 1-game playoff.
Right. Okay. Now, in the divisions.
Yeah.
Okay. In the AL,
Yeah, this is an interesting one too because Toronto and Kansas City have the same record.
they both have the same number of wins.
And whoever finishes in first in the league will have home field advantage for as long as they stay in the playoffs.
And they play the wild card team.
Yeah.
So what we don't know is not only who's going to have home field, but they don't even know who they're going to play yet.
Yeah.
And for Toronto, it's a big difference because if the Yankees were to win, nobody ever wants to play the Yankees in the playoffs, ever. You know what I mean? And Texas got a big win yesterday over Anaheim. They still have a 2-game lead over the Astros. And boy, that's a tough thing. We're going to be talking to Trey Looney about that one. And in the National League, let's just take a quick look at the National League division.
Let's do that.
In National League, the Mets still have 3 games with Washington, doubleheader today.
Yeah, day-night doubleheader.
They have 89 wins. Now, the Dodgers won their game yesterday.
So they have 90 wins.
They have 90 wins, and that's the difference between Game 5. That's the difference, I'm sorry, between going to Los Angeles
or staying
for
home
Friday and Saturday or staying home.
And having Game 1, 2, and 5 at home or away.
Right, exactly. So, shall we go to the first guest?
Let's do that. So we're going what? We're going north of the border here?
Our first guest.
Okay.
He's new to the Glory Day show.
To the Great White North.
The Great White North. He hails from Whitby, Ontario, which is about 30 minutes from Toronto. He's the Toronto Blue Jay columnist for the internet site Around the Horn Talk. Please welcome to the program via Skype, Ryan Colpitts. Ryan, how are you?
Hey, there we go.
First of all, congratulations on Toronto.
Well, I thank you very much. It is definitely an exciting time for sure, not only in the city of Toronto, but all through Canada as well.
Yeah, I did want to start out by saying not just congratulations, but also thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
Because, the Mets traded R.A. Dickey to the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2012, and we got Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard in that deal, and they are 2 of our stars right now. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you know what? Like, honestly, I didn't even mind that trade because, like, with Dickey being the knuckleball pitcher in the league, like, it's great to have him. Like, obviously, he's an older guy. Noah Syndergaard's a younger guy, and, like, it's definitely going to pan out for the Mets in that. But with the team, excuse me, with the team that that we have now between the veteran pitchers of Burley, Dickey, and Estrada, and then with bringing over Martin, and Martin has been able to catch Dickey's knuckleball so well as of late. It's been great to see. So he's definitely been a helpful addition to the roster for sure.
Now, Toronto was a lot like the Mets. I mean, they made a couple of big moves right at the trading deadline.
It was probably both the Mets and Toronto that had the best trading deadline.
They acquired David Price on the 31st of July. They traded shortstop Jose Reyes and 3 minor leaguers to Colorado for Troy Tulowitzki and LaTroy Hawkins. They got Long Islander Marcus Stroman back. They didn't think he was going to make it back this season, and they did. So they have an MVP candidate in Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, Cy Young candidate David Price. So they're looking pretty good, man. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually really funny because the Jays were doing an autograph signing with Kevin Pillar and Roberto Osuna back in July on the trade deadline, and every single person that was in that lineup was on their phones when Ken Rosenthal was tweeting about David Price trade might happen and all that. As soon as that happened, people were freaking out it was in the Eden Center, and we were just all so happy we got David Price. Obviously, every single Jays fan pretty much knows as of right now he is a rental player.
Yeah.
As much as everybody's would love as a Christmas gift to have the Jays sign him, even for the next year or two when they still have the potential of making the playoffs next year with Bautista and Edwin still in the roster, it would be great. But I mean, it comes down to a money issue, right? I mean, they have traded off a lot of guys. They got rid of Felix Dubron and Danny Valencia earlier this year, and they got cash back for those guys, as well as they got cash for all different scenarios, and also too with the playoff tickets. I mean, hell, if they don't get money from that, I don't know where else they're going to get the money
Hey,
from.
well, with David Price, do you think it's going to be a money issue, or do you think it's going to be a years issue? Because here, the talk with Cespedes, we're in the kind of in the same situation here. But the talk with Cespedes seems to be not so much the money issue, but the number of years that he wants. Because they're talking here that he's probably going to be looking for 6 years, and there's no way that Alderson is going to do something like that.
Yeah, like that's definitely the thing. Is like it does come down to a year's issue too, but it's all whenever anytime the team like trades a player and it becomes like gets down to a money issue, like it's not only the money, but it is the team years. But like I don't know, it's always been a cluster up in the air in that sense of also too where the player wants to stay, right? Because I mean David Price loves Toronto right now. He thinks it's been great. He even said like after his first start, it was the most extravagant fan base that he's seen in a while. So, I mean, it's things like that that could draw him back to Toronto. But at the same time, like you said, it is a year's issue. So I don't know how long Anthopoulos would want to keep him, as well as Shapiro coming in as president to replace Paul Beeson. We don't know what his mindset is going into the next season as well.
You know, we were talking, I think, a couple of weeks ago after they had gotten Cespedes, and kind of compared it to the Mike Piazza issue when Piazza came over from the Marlins.
Yeah.
Mike Piazza was a free agent, and when the Mets got him, all the talk was about how there's no way he's going to stay with the Mets. But he got to see the team. He got to see how much the fans loved him.
Yeah.
And that helped.
Team.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that hopefully the same thing that's going on with Price up in Toronto, we're hoping that the same thing is going to happen with Cespedes, because when you're a free agent, you get to spend a day or two with the teams. And it's in the middle of the winter, and you get to walk through their facilities, but you don't get to play every day with that team, you know? And I think that Cespedes is getting a chance to see this pitching staff,
yeah,
and to see what's going to be happening here in the next couple of years. And I'm just hoping that, you know, he's never said anything about the 6 years.
I thought we were talking about Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, we are. We're talking about the David Price thing, you know,
Okay.
and the Price thing is really the same. You guys are getting a chance to audition yourself for him.
Yeah.
And it's got to be something.
Now,
Yeah.
Troy Tulowitzki, he came back too, right? I think we were talking off camera. He came back last night, so I guess you'll have him for the playoffs?
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. He will be on the roster. I mean, everybody was talking about how the Jays will probably have a 14-player position set up that they'll bring, and then they'll have 11 pitchers. So Tulowitzki 100% will be in that lineup. They might even include Cliff Pennington to be one of the extra guys they bring on the playoff roster. Just like knock on wood, he doesn't. But if Tulo needs a day off,
Yeah.
or something happens where he has like pulls a strain or something, and he just needs to sit a couple innings, then they'll have that extra guy who they've already had experience with. Considering Ryan Goins and Cliff Pennington have been pretty much the setup second and shortstop guys since Tulo's injury. But I mean, hopefully it won't get that far, and hopefully Tulo will stay in the game and help the team with the playoff picture for sure.
We're getting close to the first break here, but I wanted to ask you, obviously they don't, you know, at this point we don't know who they're going to play, but I wanted to ask you about Texas or Kansas City. How did Toronto do out of their division this year?
I can't remember what the numbers were against Texas. It was either that I think we won more games against them than we lost, but I know with Kansas City, because they're the first, like they're the ones that we're chasing right now. We took 4 out of 3